Hey everyone, my name is Chloe, and today I'm here to do a TBR Spotlight. So, I have done a few of these before, and I just really like to kind of pick a theme and go through my bookshelves of unread books and pull out the ones that are on there with that theme. So, it kind of draws my attention back to some of these that may have been sitting there a while or whatever. So, when I was thinking about October, of course, there's spooky, there's cozy mysteries, there's all those kind of things that I could potentially do. However, I didn't want to do that. Instead, to me, fall means historical. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of historical, but if I'm going to read it, it's going to be on kind of like gloomier, gray days that kind of come at the end of fall and early winter. And so I decided to pull off all the historical books on my shelf. I also thought it would be really interesting because I personally am a fan of World War II stories. I know a lot of people think they're overdone, and I can definitely see why you would think that. But I really enjoy them. So I thought it would be really interesting to kind of dive into my TBR and see, like, am I only buying World War II stories? Am I only buying like World War II in these specific countries? Like, do I need to diversify? Maybe would that help me like it a little bit more, or would I have a different experience? So I just think this is really interesting. So I've got 7 books, and I think that is all my historical books. And you guys, my TBR is like 200 or 300, and so it's crazy that I've only got 7, but I think these are all of them. So let's just get into them. And I want you guys to let me know if you have read any of these books. So the first one is The Fountains of Silence by Ruta Sepetys. So I have read 2 Ruta Sepetys this year, I think, for the first time, and I really like her for the way that she talks about a time that you don't necessarily know about. So this is another chunky guy, and this one is 1957 in Madrid. And I guess a lot of people are going to Spain for like promises of wealth and wine and that kind of stuff. And so the book is told from, I can't remember, Daniel. He and his family moved to Madrid, and he wants to be a photographer. He's big into photography. He finds this girl whose family is still kind of showing the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War. That was in the 30s, I believe. So I know there's some secrets. I know things get a little dangerous because lives and hearts collide, revealing an incredibly dark side to the sunny Spanish city. So I'm excited to read this just because, like I said, I don't really know anything about Madrid in the 50s. And so I trust that Ruta will let me know what was going on. So excited to read that. Next, I have When We Were Young by Jacqueline Goldis. And this is 3 different perspectives. It's a multi-generational story about 3 different women. So it starts in Corfu, Greece in 1942, right at the beginning of World War II for them. So this is, what's her name? Sarah. She is more concerned with kind of her teenage love life than the Nazis and things because it hasn't quite hit yet, I don't think. Then Corfu in 2004, her daughter is now grown and lives there, and her Sarah's granddaughter. So Sarah's daughter is the mother in 2004. Her name is B, and then her daughter Joey lives in Florida in 2019, but I think she goes back to Greece. So long story short, that was probably super confusing, but we get 3 timelines, 3 perspectives, multi-generational, love it. Corfu 1942, Corfu 2004, and Florida 2019. So I know these family secrets will come up, and we kind of get a lot of different perspectives here and timelines. So that's kind of fun. This next one is a little bit of a stretch because it is 1989 and 2006, and this is a second chance romance, but I'm calling 1989 historical because, you guys, that was 32 years ago. I may or may not have been born in 1989, so I'm like, oh, this is like a contemporary, not that old, and then I'm like, oh goodness, it is 32 years ago. So I'm calling this historical, even though it's kind of a stretch, but it's a second chance romance. This woman, I can't remember, Meg, she walked away from this guy named Carson, and then now in 2006, they are reunited, and because I think her mom has died, and she's reading her mom's journals, and there's some secrets, so let's see. Then this one is going to break my heart, but this is A Mother's Promise by K.D. Alden. And this is Virginia, 1927. So this Ruth, she was pregnant and she was unwed. She was poor. So they took her to some sort of like institution and gave her baby away. And she is wanting to fight to see her child. I don't know if her like if it's just in that one timeline, but they then are trying to prevent her from having more kids, and they're calling her feeble-minded, kind of trying to lock her up. And I am guessing this is going to be a story of a mother's love. It's going to break my heart. 1927, Virginia. Can't wait. Next is Our Last Goodbye by Shirley Dixon. So this one is in England in 1943. So I feel like I'm doing okay with my mix of time and stuff. Not all World War II, but this is about a woman, again, whose mother dies. And so to make her proud, she becomes a nurse. And she works alongside this guy. And she's like, hey, why aren't you a soldier? Why aren't you fighting? What's going on? I think it's their romance as well as like her mother's secrets. How well do they really know each other? And with the war coming closer to home, May cannot keep her shocking truth from coming to light. Next is The Scandalous Summer of Cissy LeBlanc. So honestly, this is the one I'm most nervous for. It is Louisiana, 1956. And Cissy just kind of sounds like one of those a little bit crass, a little rough around the edges, Southern girls. I don't know how old she is. I think she's a teen. And it's kind of her love story, her figuring life out. I think it says I don't know how old she is, but maybe her high school sweetheart comes back. I don't really know, but sounds like it'll be a fun. This one probably is a better summer read, not necessarily in this historical, gloomy kind of atmosphere, but it is historical nonetheless, and maybe it'll help lighten some of these up. And the last one is one that I just hauled, so you will have seen me talk about it pretty recently, but it is The Orphan House by Anne Bennett. So this one is told in dual timelines between 1934 and present day. And in 1934, these girls are living in an orphan house that their dad runs, and they love it. They're having a great time. And then he brings in a baby that for some reason our main character recognizes. And then jump forward to present day. I think it's another gal. Her dad is dying, and he was that baby. So discovering more about the orphan house. I love orphan stories. 1930s, and yeah, this one definitely has that kind of gray bleakness, but hopefully some hope. So those are the books on my shelf that are historical in nature. And let me know, when do you feel like is the best time for historical fiction? Like I said, for me, it's kind of that like November-y time into October, early November, because December kind of starts Christmas cheery. I want that kind of stuff. October, I do a little bit of the creepy, but I'm not really into paranormal, and I'm not into super dark stuff. So these kind of fit more of the bill for me in October and November. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've read any of these. And thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you in the next one.